You thought she liked you. She watched your stories, liked your posts, sent a heart once. But it was never about you. It was about being seen, fed, worshipped. You were baited into a validation loop, not a connection. This isn't weakness. It's programming. Today we unravel how modern platforms turn emotional longing into digital slavery, and how millions of men confuse attention for affection. This is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to wake up. You saw her story light up your screen, a simple mirror selfie, pouty lips, captioned, "Hey." Something about it hit you. Maybe it was how casual she looked. Maybe it was how many people had already replied. But it didn't feel like a post. It felt like an invitation. You tapped. You replied a flame emoji, or maybe just "you look good," and when she replied, your stomach twisted with something almost like meaning. You thought it was connection. It wasn't. It was her currency. And you had just paid. This isn't about love. This is about visibility. In a digital coliseum where attention is the new gold, you are not a person. You are a number in the algorithm, a stat, a dopamine dispenser. She doesn't need to love you. She just needs to be seen being loved. And you've been trained for this. By platforms' adultery, by loneliness, every notification, every heart, it trains you to associate her attention with your worth. And so, you give. Your time, your words, your gaze. Until she becomes a mirror reflecting the version of yourself you're most desperate to believe in. But this is not intimacy, it's theater, and the role she plays for you is being played for 100 other men, not because she's evil, but because this is how the system works. Because social media doesn't run on truth, it runs on performance, and the most profitable role a woman can play is the girl who could want you, but never actually does. This is the Instagram trap. It looks like desire, it feels like connection, but it only survives through distance. She'll never actually love you, because if she did, you'd stop chasing, and the algorithm can't afford that. You weren't weak, you were trained. This wasn't a personal failure, it was a system design. Instagram didn't just show you beauty, it taught you to chase it. Not in the real world, but on a screen where it could never be yours. Every like you gave wasn't a message to her. It was data. Every message you sent wasn't a shot at connection. It was fuel. Fuel for her metrics. Fuel for the algorithm. Fuel for a system that turns loneliness into content. You never stood a chance, because it's not about whether she's real. It's about whether your longing keeps the machine running, and it does. You think you're choosing her, but your choices were shaped before you even opened the app. The girls you see are chosen for you. Not based on love, but on retention. The app shows you who will keep you scrolling, not who will care about your heart. And it works because deep down, you don't want her. You want to be wanted, even if it's fake, even if it's paid for with your self-worth. That's why her reply meant more than it should have. Why her rewired your whole day. Why the silence afterwards felt like rejection even when nothing was real. You were conditioned to interpret digital feedback as emotional truth, and you're not the only one. There are millions of men swiping, commenting, chasing, not connection, but a feeling of being seen. The trap isn't her. It's that you mistake her performance for interest. Because that's what the system wants you to believe. That attention, crying affection, that arousal, crying love, that interaction, crying intimacy. But they don't. She's not evil. She's surviving too. Validation is her currency, and your attention is the ATM. You both lose. She becomes addicted to being adored. You become addicted to the chance of being chosen. But you were never really in the conversation. You were a viewer, a donor, a mirror held up to make her feel seen, while you stayed invisible. And still, you blame yourself. For being needy, for hoping, for feeling too much from too little. But the system was built to make you feel this way and to keep you coming back. Because in your desperation, you spend more. You click more. You chase more. The illusion of potential connection is more profitable than real love. So if it hurt, good. That means you still have the capacity to feel something real. Now use that pain, not to chase her again, but to turn away from the trap entirely, not because you're bitter, but because you're ready to stop giving your soul to something that never gave a damn. You were never broken. You were baited, taught to confuse presence with affection, addicted to illusions that ask nothing of her but everything of you. And now you know, this wasn't your fault, but it is your responsibility. To step out of the algorithm, to stop bleeding for screens that never bled for you, to reclaim the parts of yourself that learned to measure love in likes. The next time you feel that pull, pause. Not because you're afraid, but because you've already seen the trap for what it is. And you are done performing for her validation. Now you perform for your freedom. You've seen how the system feeds on your attention, but awareness means nothing without action. Start reclaiming your time, your mind, and your masculine clarity. Unplug not to escape, but to rebuild the man beneath the noise. Remember, every scroll is a choice. Every distraction is a deal with the algorithm. And every moment of silence is freedom they can't monetize. If this message hit you, don't just like it. Live it. Subscribe for more reflections on digital addiction, self-mastery, and the quiet rebellion against the machine. Because the algorithm studies you, but truth transforms you.